Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Box, Compete's YouTube channel. Live to be once again joined by Daniel. We are going to be discussing some of the knockouts that we've seen in the month of May. There are a few to pick from, and yeah, we're going to be discussing that. I'm going to be quizzing Daniel on what his favorite one out of those three was as well. And yeah, this is another kind of new feature for the channel, and really looking forward to getting into it. Daniel, thanks for joining me again. I think as boxing fans, we all love knockouts. Nothing wrong with it when a fight goes the distance, but knockouts are those highlight reel moments. We've seen a few of them in the month of May. So thanks for joining me. We'll get straight into it. What is the first knockout you want to discuss this month?
Well, the first one, thanks for having me again, Elliot. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's great to be back on. So the first one I want to assess is it happened obviously early hours of this morning or last night out in America, if you how you want to put it. Obviously is the tank, Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero. Obviously it was just the perfect counter, left hand. Do you mean it was just on the button? It was sweet, and I don't think there was no coming back from Romero there. I think when Romero came forward, he literally started throwing hands. He squared up. He was flat foot. He was just there for the taking. And to me, at first I thought it was a catch counter, but when you just looked, Gervonta just slipped to the side and he threw that left hook, and it was just a peach of a fight, and it just shows why, even though that we were looking at June the 5th for Kambosos versus Haney, but it just shows why potentially he is ranked number one in that division. I mean, the power that he holds, the charisma. He's now, as he said the other day, he's now looking to take over his own career, so we don't know where he's going to go. Potentially a fight with Ryan Garcia. I mean, that's another big fight in the division, setting up for the winner, maybe against the winner of Haney and Kambosos. But to me, that's probably one of the biggest knockouts of this month. I mean, it was just textbook.
Great knockout, great fight as well. By the way, I watched the fight this morning, and I really enjoyed it. I think Romero kind of gave a good account of himself. It's just both fighters are punchers, so it wasn't likely to go the distance. But
no,
credit where credit's due. I think Gervonta Davis is one of the most exciting fighters on the planet, and he kind of. I don't want to make a silly comparison here, but he reminds me a little bit of Deontay Wilder in the sense that I've always felt like with Davis, he can be losing a fight or the fight can be very close, but you still know he's got that power in him that can just change a fight. So I just feel like even if we're 8 rounds in and you think, right, he's lost every round here, I can still say to you, I still think he's going to win by stoppage. He's got that sort of power, and he's got the one punch knockout power as well that we've seen so many times now. And I think he's 27-28-0 now. So he's proven time and time again he can knock these guys out. He's not just kind of a one-trick pony. So yeah, that's a good start there. Not the last KO we're going to see from Gervonta Davis, and I think now it's just time for him to kind of press on and be in these mega fights, where that's the winner of Haney Kambosos, Ryan Garcia, maybe Teofimo Lopez down the line at a bigger weight, who knows? But yeah, fantastic KO.
But I think that's what makes him the box office star that he is, as you said. I mean, he's that Deontay Wilder type fighter. Obviously, before Wilder came up against Fury, he was knocking everybody out, whether he was behind or not. He always had that big power, but like the tank, Gervonta Davis. I mean, as you said, it was a good fight. It was a close. Some rounds were close, some weren't. I mean, and then it just came to that point where he just stepped back. Romero just squared up, and Davis caught him with that sweet hook. Do you mean? And if you go off social medias, Ryan Garcia has come out saying that throughout the whole fight, the tank was telling him that he's next. So potentially we got that massive fight that could happen, and then we could have that big fight at the end of the year, where the winner of Kambosos versus Haney is fighting the tank, and then we'll know who is obviously number one in that division. Then for definite.
I really hope so. I really hope so. It's just we need to see kind of. You remember when people were talking about the four kings a few years back? Yeah. None of those guys have actually fought each other, and we need to see that happen. You know, I mean, Haney and Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, they're all still undefeated. They've not fought each other. Now we know Teofimo Lopez has lost to Kambosos, but he's still a top fighter, and I don't think he's going to be fighting at lightweight again. So I would love it if we need to see these guys fight each other. Surely, they're all fantastic fighters. moving on, what's your second best KO of the month, Daniel?
The next one would probably may come as a bit of surprise, but it's Andrew Kane, the Liverpool fighter. Obviously, he fought Lewis Mourinho on the 20th of May. And then he just caught him with that peach of an uppercut to start with. Obviously, Mourinho went down. He got back up, in fairness to him, but then I don't think he just recovered, to be fair. Obviously, Kane then caught him with a nice hook and a straight right, and that was it. The fight was over. But it's another first round KO for Kane. I think he's now 10-0 with 9 knockouts. I just think he's just on that collision course for that British title. Do you know what I mean? And we got another great fighter in that division cup and coming in, Dennis McCann. So that it could be them too. What a great British title fight that would make. Not that I'm a promoter, but do you know what I mean? If Frank Warren's listening, then that fight would be a fantastic fight. I mean, you got a knockout artist versus what they're calling the next big thing in Dennis McCann. So I know McCann's stepping up a little bit, but he could potentially come back down in weight for that fight against Andrew. And I think Andrew is going to be a big star really on BT Sport with the knockouts that he is getting. He's got a lot of power in them hands.
Yeah, we shall see. I was lucky enough to be there that night, and it was a very impressive performance. And Dennis McCann was there as well, so maybe he was doing a bit of scouting. Maybe it is a fight that could happen in the future. I think with Andrew Kane, I think I saw him do like a post-fight interview, and he was basically saying like he keeps on getting matched with opponents who are able to give him rounds, and it's not happening. People aren't able to give him rounds. So yeah, I think. Look, just glad he's clearly a talent. So glad he's kind of getting some exposure. I hope he kind of continues to be on TV, and we'll see what happens. But no, it's certainly very, very, very exciting. We'll see if the knockouts can continue, and we'll see. Look, but it's exciting. But I think as we kind of mentioned earlier in this video, if you're someone who can knock a lot of people out, you are going to gain traction from that and get a lot of attention. So yeah, only 10 fights in. But yeah, going to be interesting to see who he's matched with next. He's one to keep an eye on, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree there.
Cool. Soon, yeah, final one. What is your
final one then? Is going to the boxer tournament. Obviously that happened a while back, and Ricky Reeves, obviously what a fight there. Obviously I know the boxer tournament adds a lot of excitement anyway. Three round fight going into the final round. A lot of the judges, a lot of the commentators, a lot of the pundits are saying he's behind in the fight. He comes up with this massive fight. He has a big right hand with 1 minute 30 left. He catches McDonald. McDonald is out on his feet at some point. He comes back into the fight, and then it's just these big hooks then that Reeves is thrown in to get. And I think, to be honest, the ref could have stopped it maybe a couple of seconds sooner to save McDonald getting that final right hook into from Reeves. But I think it was just one of them massive comeback knockouts, huge comeback knockouts. I just don't think people affected. I know he went on to lose in the final, but obviously I think he got a lot of attraction and a lot of traction from that, and a lot of fans. And in that tournament, whoever gets the final, they're going to come again anyway. So, and they're going to get opportunities, and especially with having that sort of like attraction for fans. And like you said, as we said at the start, fans want knockouts. That's what the ticket payers want to see. That's what the casual fans like to see. So I think if he's got that ability in him, then he's going to have more opportunities, whether it be on Boxer or on any other different shows. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I love a boxer tournament or prize fighter as it was originally known. I think that although you don't get big names competing, you're going to get exciting fights. And I think like it's if you're the winner, then not only do you get kind of a big paycheck, but you got a good chance of getting signed as well. So no, I'm a big fan. I'm glad Box have kind of brought them back, and I really hope they continue. On the knockout itself, loved it, and that's the sort of knockout you are going to get in a box tournament. If that was kind of a 10-round or 12-round fight, that possibly wouldn't have ended in that way. But yeah, loved it. And I think Ricky Reeves, again, he was an example of someone who didn't win the tournament, but more people know his name. His stock has gone up, and he's an exciting division in this country as well, in the cruiserweight division. So yeah, like all of those picks, mate, what is your favorite out of the three very different ones? I think we've gone for Javonte Davis in New York, Andrew Kane in New York, in York Hall, sorry, slightly different place, and Ricky Reeves in Manchester. So 3 kind of different weight categories, different sorts of knockout. What is your favorite one out of the 3?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Tank last night. I think it was just textbook. Do you know what I mean? It was. I know that maybe if you analyze the fight to think that Romero he squared himself up, he left himself from that knockdown, but it was just like that slip, and it was just that left hook. It was timing. The slip had perfect timing. I think it just has to be the Tank, and it just goes, as we said at the start, it goes to show that he is that highlight reel, Showtime, box office, future. Do you mean at the start when he came on, everyone was saying he's the next Floyd? Do you mean, is he better than Floyd? Who knows? Do you mean, because it's a totally different generation? But he's knocking them out, and he's lining them up and knocking them all out. And as we said, he is that box office star, because he could be losing up to the 11th, 12th round, but he's got that power in his hand. So yeah, for me, it's got to be the Tank knockout last night versus Romero.
Great stuff. Well, may the knockouts continue.
Definitely.
Cool. Daniel, enjoy that, mate. Looking forward to some more knockouts in June. And yeah, we're back next month to review those. But yeah, thanks very much for your time, okay?
No worries, Al. Thank you for your time.
Cheers, mate.